Good evening. The word of the day is directions. The last 2 days, I've talked about my father and one of my grandfathers. Today, I want to talk about my other grandfather. When he was a younger man, he was actually a farmer too, like my grandfather that I talked about last night. He worked on a large dairy farm over in Rowan County. But sometime about the time my mom was 8 years old, no, in the 8th grade, not 8 years old, his brother convinced him to come to work for a trucking company in Kings Mountain. And he worked there the rest of his career. And he was the driver that they sent anytime they had a difficult situation or had to go somewhere where the directions were not really great. He was the one they sent. And over the years, he drove to so many places. He was very good with directions. You could tell him where he needed to go, and he almost already had been there sometime or another and knew how to get there. If he gave you directions, he gave landmarks and specific places to turn and things to look for. They even took him to Indiana and let him drive a new truck home from up there several times because they knew that he could find his way back in the most direct route without any trouble. He was very good with directions. Even after he retired one time, my mother was taking him to the doctor, and his eyes weren't very good, and he couldn't see very well, and he was suffering some other things. But they were driving down the highway, and he said, "We're at such and such a place." And my mother said, "How can you tell that?" He said, "I knew the road was rough here, and I can tell by the way the car's bouncing. We're at that place." He knew a lot about directions. I don't think he was ever lost, at least not that he ever told about. A lot of people need some directions in their life. And I hope you can find the right directions to go the right way, to do the right things, just like my grandfather was good at directions. I don't think he was ever lost and ever didn't know where he was headed. You need to be the same way. Get some good directions so your life will head in the right direction. Have a great day.
The word of the day is direction.
Thank God for good directions and turnip green.